Ken Starr, I'll be honest. To me, everything I read, everything I saw, I believe in due process. I believe in presumption of innocence. Everything I've seen points to a lot of smoke involving this man and young girls. I'm surprised you were representing him. I know everyone deserves a defense. What can you tell us about him?
Well, I was, in fact, brought in Florida to address one specific issue, and that is whether the issue should be handled by the state. There's no question. There were serious issues, and he was accepting the responsibility for those in Palm Beach County, but the issue was, should there be a federal offense as well? But we're going to see what all these facts are. These are all new facts, Sean, and thank you for saying you believe in the presumption of innocence and you believe in due process. And so I'm very happy that the Attorney General, who's a man of his word, is going to get to the bottom of exactly how this happened. These irregularities are of great concern. They should be of great concern to all of us, but especially in light of the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was in this very precarious situation, and he deserved protection, and he also deserved monitoring. So we shall see. There are a lot of questions, but I must say I'm very distressed by the very fact that the day after he was visiting with his defense lawyers, he is found dead. That strikes me as very, very concerning, to put it mildly.
Bernie Kerik, most people know you for your heroism on 9/11, and you and the then Mayor Rudy Giuliani risking your lives. You were right there. You were ground zero at the time. You barely escaped with your life that day, but many may not know that you ran the Department of Prisons for New York for some period of time as well. How many years?
I had Rikers and the Department of Correction for 6 years, involving 133,000 inmate admissions a year and about 13,000 staff members.
A lot of people, some of the toughest, look at Rikers, some of the toughest prisons in the country. You know this facility well. Let's talk specifically about the decisions that you see that were made here, especially in light of what had happened just 2 short weeks ago.
I think there's a couple things that the Attorney General is going to focus on primarily, Sean. Who authorized him to come off of suicide watch? Was he put into a buddy system? Was there a secondary person in that cell? The reporting is there was. That person was removed. I can tell you, I know that housing area that he was in quite well. In the north side and the south side of the hallway where those cells are, there are cameras overhead. So you'll be able to see who went in the cell, who came out of the cell. There's no camera facing in the cell, so you wouldn't see inside.
But we would know the time that he was last checked on. Look, this is kind of personal for me because my mother did this. And my mother worked 4 to 12 and midnight to 8, and she worked 16-hour shifts constantly. But she had rounds. And
that's right.
She described it. She was constantly making her rounds all throughout the night, checking every cell, checking if they were asleep. If there was any activity, it was her job to go over and make sure nothing horrible was happening. All of those things, there was a redundancy of what they did every night, and it had to be done in a timely manner. And from what I recall her saying is, they were checking who checked at what time, where, and when, and they had to write it all down and chronicle all that.
Sean, that area that he was in, 9 South, historically, those bed checks are 15 to 30 minutes. A bed check is looking into the cell, identifying the person that's in there, and they have to guarantee that they're breathing. If they can't see if they're breathing, once they see the body, they got to wake the person up and make sure they're alive. I can tell you, if that was not done, those checks were not done. That's one of the irregularities that the Attorney General's talking about.
Pam, let's go back to the Florida, what many have described as a sweetheart deal. I know we